Did we witness the biggest screw job in wrestling history on Saturday? I mean, according to Wade Barrett, we did. This eclipsed the Montreal screw job. I'm referring to the voice of the voiceless returning. As if we did not expect that to happen. I mean, the writing was on the wall. I've been saying it for months. CM Punk was going to appear at Clash at the Castle and cost Drew McIntyre the World Heavyweight title. And it was going to become personal. This is Wrestle Talk with the franchise. And this episode is going to be the Clash at the Castle recap and more. Because there is a lot to dive into, particularly one subject matter that if you did not watch the Instagram live that me and the Ace that runs the place did on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, make sure you go check it out at RCW_podcast. We went live. It was an impromptu live episode because of the Ricochet drama, which I will be addressing and talking about on this episode. But before I dive into that, we did have a premium live. We did have Clash at the Castle this past Saturday in Glasgow, Scotland. It was a solid show. Before I get into this, I have to tell y'all about a mishap that I had. So this is the second attempt of doing this video, of doing this episode. Here's why. So I was positioned over here, right? If you guys know, there's a couch right here and there's the backdrop that you see somewhat of it right here, the backdrop right here. So normally I'm here. There's a few times where I'm actually sitting in between these two couches. There's a couch here, there's a couch there. If you guys go back to watch old archives of when me and the Ace was here, it's kind of the setup as before. There's new improvement over here. But I was shooting in the middle of the two couches with the black backdrop, right? I was recording, I'm, doing all this, and then as I got done and I walked over to the mixer to do all this, I realized I wasn't talking on the mic that I'm talking on right now. I was talking on another one, but the mic that I'm talking to now, level, fader was up. And the one that I was talking on, that fader was down. So I was literally like, I cannot believe I just did this shit. It was like an hour worth of material that I had. And I was like, the fuck? So I just said, you know what? I recorded something else after the first take of this, and now I'm just over here. So I'm just like, let me just do it this way. So let's dive into the Clash at the Castle recap. Solid show. I love, and I think I know what they're trying to do, which is going to be a good thing, but then again, it's not going to be, it's going to be tricky. I do believe in the foreseeable future, we are going to get one of the big four out of the country. I think we're going to get one of the big four. I'm thinking it may even be a WrestleMania. We're going to get it out of the country. Now, we had SummerSlam in 93. I believe I said 92 before, but in 93, we did have SummerSlam in Wembley. British Bulldog, Bret Hart, Intercontinental title. That was the last big four that was done overseas. I mean, the closest you could do is WrestleMania in Toronto, but, I mean, it's Toronto. I think it's because I'm close to Canada, so it's not really a big deal that it's over there, but I'm talking about like the UK, I'm talking about Scotland, France, hell, maybe something in Japan, who knows? But I think they're really testing to see like, okay, we're doing this. They even had a loud meter on SmackDown and on Clash at the Castle. A few podcasters are suggesting that maybe they do this in state. You don't want to do this in state because it will put to sham. It will put the states to sham because, and I said it with the France audience, and I'm saying it with Scotland. It's because they don't get these events often, let alone a premium live event often. So they are going to go balls to the wall. They're going to be vocal, loud. The energy is just going to be there. And that's what makes those events so, like, just a moment. And I think they want to break a record with one of their big four overseas. So as you know, when we do recaps, we have our points: match, OMG moment, feel good moment, best performer. So let's dive right into it. My match of the night will go to the Undisputed Championship I Quit match. It will. Say what you want to say. Right now, as you can see, I have on my Cody Rhodes t-shirt. This is not because of Cody Rhodes winning the match. I literally was telling myself that I haven't worn this Cody Rhodes shirt since I purchased it. And I got this back in the winter when I got the CM Punk hoodie. So when I got the CM Punk hoodie, I got this. I got the CM Punk hoodie. No, actually, this was a Christmas present. Yes, this was a Christmas present. Jesus Christ. This was a Christmas present because I got this and I got the Rhea Ripley shirt as well. So these two were Christmas presents. I'm sorry. I thought that I got this at the same time I got the CM Punk shirt and the hoodie, which, by the way, they have announced that the In Punk We Trust shirt that I've been talking about, that I said was the best CM Punk shirt, is back. It is back. I am ordering it. I cannot wait. That's probably in my top 5 favorite wrestling shirts. But I did not wear this shirt because of Cody winning his match. I just haven't worn this shirt yet. So the match of the night will go to the I Quit match. Say what you want to say about Cody Rhodes' title reign. I know that I said that I was going to give it to Money in the Bank to kind of gauge, kind of where I stand at with his title reign. And I will say, his title reign, his title defenses, not his reign, but his defenses have been great. Cody Rhodes, y'all know I am all for heels, heels, heels. I love heels. Cody Rhodes might be the first babyface that I actually like. Like, the way they have made Cody go, I've never seen a crowd, and maybe, I can't even say it was because it was in Scotland, because that same energy that they give for Cody in Scotland and France and all, they give it to him in the States as well. He is loved he's loved, beloved. Everybody is like, he really is I can't even say he's this generation's John Cena, because I don't think Cena had, and this is a take, this is a hot take, but I don't think, if you look at when Cody comes out and Cody's interaction with the fans compared to Cena's interaction with the fans, they're kind of like neck and neck, but I got to give a slight edge to Cody. I got to give a slight to Cody. Just a slight. Because everyone loves Cody. There's a group of individuals that don't like Cena. I was one of the people. I'm not the biggest John Cena fan. I put him in the same category as far as like face-wise and all this. He's in the same breath as Hogan. But Cena's more of a people person. He's more of a, he loves, you could tell he loves the business and he loves what he does. Hogan was more politics. He plays the political game a lot. But Cody got it. Like the ultimate baby face, Cody got it. Like he checks off all the boxes, which then makes people think that if he's a great baby face, he will be an excellent heel. But I never think Cody's gonna go heel. I don't see it. I don't see it. But I digress. Match of the night was this match. A lot of people say that, they're trying to compare this to the Backlash match. It's two different styles of matches, but it was definitely something we did see. Both of them bled. Not really the bleeding that I would want. And I know what people are going to say, but so what kind of bleeding would you want? In the middle. Not AEW bleeding, because their blood is just like, they just take a razor and just slice their head completely open and just go blah. No, I don't like the crimson mask. Like, it's horrifying blood. I would say maybe, I don't want to say Austin, because Austin used to bleed. He used to bleed bad too. Okay, so when Cody bled when The Rock whooped his ass, that bleeding, Cody bled, but it wasn't like that, and I think Cody bled in AEW, I think once or twice. So when Cody bled in AEW, I think that would be what I would look for. But I had to go back, because then if Cody bled like if he bled like Moxley bleeds, then that's a whole different story. But we did see blood. It was a solid match. Like, I'm not disappointed in these title defenses that Cody's had. It was brutal. AJ Styles. This is why I say Cody is, because the way AJ whooped Cody's ass during this whole entire thing, you really was sitting there like, damn, like you were feeling for Cody. I was sitting there like, Cody, get up, like, fight, Cody, fight. And that's why I say Cody's like over as a babyface for me. But AJ Styles really put on a phenomenal show, no pun intended. And to see the brutality that they went through, you know, it wasn't over the top. It was just right for them. A perfect way to start the show. Perfect way to start the show was to have this, because this set the tone for the rest of the show. And then obviously we got the surprise. I won't call it surprise, but we got the seeds planted for Money in the Bank. I'm going with Money in the Bank because, as you guys know, I've been saying that Money in the Bank, Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa, we get the return of Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, which sets up Solo versus Roman at SummerSlam. I really think that's when we get the return of Roman Reigns, because I think they're like, okay, we need to kick this into gear now. Like, we really do. And I know The Rock had recently made a statement about, I'll get into what The Rock said later when I dive back into this. OMG moment. Obviously, you heard the beginning of the show. I started off with the screw job. And that was CM Punk. That is CM Punk returning. There were rumbles that he was in Scotland. I mean, it's personal. It's personal between these two. This is what I think Seth Rollins and CM Punk could have been. We're still probably going to get CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania next year. But I think this right here, they found lightning in a bottle, and they're going forward with this. And it is a great story that they're telling, because what we're seeing is Drew McIntyre is obsessed. But he's not obsessed with the world title. He's obsessed with CM Punk. Drew McIntyre's story is his obsession, not with the belt, but with the things that have prevented him from getting the belt. He was obsessed with the bloodline. He's obsessed over CM Punk. But this is personal, because not only did he screw him out of his moment at WrestleMania, but you screw him out of another moment in his country for a second time. This happened to him in his country. Last year, Clash at the Castle. This year, Clash at the Castle. It's like, Drew McIntyre is like, I can't catch a fucking break. And CM Punk really made it personal in the press conference. You know, he sat there and said, as long as I'm in the WWE, Drew McIntyre will never be world champion. He went off to say that, you know, he made a slight, you know, he took a little slight, made it personal with his wife, you know. And the one thing that I think we need to pay close attention to, and nobody is really talking about it, is Wade Barrett. And the reason why I bring up Wade Barrett is because during the show, he was going off, voicing his opinion, CM Punk needs to be fired. Why is CM Punk, like, he's not medically cleared? Why is he doing X, Y, and Z? And he's going off on all these things. And then CM Punk said something during his press conference. And he said, I will not be at Raw. I'm skipping Raw. SmackDown's in Chicago. Think I'll be there. Give y'all guys my update. Give y'all guys the news. Wade Barrett is a commentator on SmackDown. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays itself out. I'm wondering if Wade Barrett is going to align himself in some way, shape, form, or fashion with Drew McIntyre. Because as the show was ending, they had fan footage of Drew McIntyre and Wade Barrett talking. And they both looked visibly pissed off about what happened. So it's just something about that. The way he was very passionate about CM Punk's involvement, saying that this was up there with the Montreal Screwjob. This eclipsed the Montreal Screwjob. That, I'm telling you, Wade Barrett is going to play a major role in this CM Punk Drew McIntyre storyline. In my opinion, I think, because you don't have him go off the way he does, and you don't have CM Punk show up on SmackDown. There's no reason for him to be on SmackDown other than to say that, even though he could just easily do like what The Rock has done in the past, which is go to social media, make a video, say, hey, I'm medically cleared. This is what I'm doing. I'll be at Raw next Monday, wherever they're going to be. But no, he said that. And I've been one to really get on AEW for having their cheap hometown pops and all this. I'll say the same thing with that. Why have him appear there? You already know that, that's the cheap pop, hometown hero, especially in Chicago. We all know how he's the son of Chicago. So that was my OMG moment. My feel-good moment, obviously, is the shock of the night. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were surprised that the women's tag team changed, and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are your new tag team champions. I am glad that Triple H, during his segment of the press conference, made it clear that it was not because of, I believe it is Alba Fire, whose mother passed away. Or Isla. It's one of them. One of their parents passed away. Mothers passed away. And Triple H made it clear that's not the reason why they won the titles. Very glad to hear him say that, because it does make me feel like, okay, even though I think a lot of the majority of the audience in the universe is still going to feel like she got that title because of that. They got the titles because of that. But I think that they needed a country-born person to win a major title. Obviously, you're not going to have Piper Niven win the women's title, because we all know Bayley is facing Nia Jax at SummerSlam. And I don't think that they're going to have Piper win the title for her then to lose it to Bayley in a rematch at Money in the Bank, to then have Nia beat Bayley at SummerSlam. One thing that I noticed during this Triple H era is they're not hot potatoing titles like Vince used to. Vince would have had probably Piper Niven win, or let me know. Vince would have had Doudrop win in Scotland to then lose to Bayley at Money in the Bank, and then Bayley lose to Nia Jax. So in a matter of 2 months, the title changed 3 different times. You know, it's just, you know, I'm glad that Triple H didn't do that. And obviously Drew McIntyre is not winning in Scotland, not winning in, you know, he's not winning because he got screwed. So someone from Scotland had to win. So obviously Alba Fire and Nyla Dawn winning the women's tag team titles was probably, out of the three, was the right call. I'm about to get into some other mishaps that happened in a little bit, maybe real soon. But best performer, I couldn't really pick one because I think all of them, all the matches were good matches. You know, I couldn't really pick a top performer. But as I said, there was mishaps, and let's talk about them. So the ace that runs the place, okay. I'm going to say he was not the only one that said this. Okay. I'm going to say he's not the only one that said this. But because it's the ace, I want to say this. So the ace took to his Instagram, RCW_ace, and said the following. It was so many botches on Clash at the Castle. If that happened in AEW, y'all would say the company should close its doors. Now, there were two notable botches. I don't want to call botches because that's an insult. That's a disrespect to the talent. Most of the talent have said they don't even know where the name botch came from, so I'm gonna call it a mishap. There were 3 mishaps. 2 of them very noticeable. One of them, if you looked, you would notice. Corey Graves and Michael Cole talked about it, which was Jade Cargill tapping out to the Karakulua clutch by Shayna Baszler. But during this match, Jade did her springboard that she does after a hot tag. So she gets tagged in, she does her springboard. She's done it countless times. But this time, she slipped. During the World Heavyweight title match, Damian Priest, who, again, has done this move countless times, ran to the ropes, tried to do his jump off the rope and do his flip. Foot got wrapped up in the ropes, which, if you've ever heard wrestlers talk about it, it is very painful when the ropes catch you and you get caught in that. I mean, even Mick Foley got his ear ripped off from a rope, from his head being stuck in the ropes. So it's not a pleasant feeling. Here's what I would say in regards to the difference between AEW's mishaps and WWE's mishaps. When AEW has their mishaps, it looks though as if they literally do not know, like they did not go over the match prior to going out there and performing. It's like they mess up and they go, oh, what do we do? What do we do? And then AEW prides themselves on being the best wrestling. This is where you go to see the best wrestlers perform. And then that's what you give them. On an average, weekly, not monthly, not once in a blue moon, weekly, you can find a match or two that there's a mishap in AEW. You don't see that much mishaps in WWE. And if they do, they're quick to like, oh, fix it. Oh, let's go this way. Oh, let's do this. They're quick to do that. Drew McIntyre, when Priest did that, Drew McIntyre got out of character and was like, I have to win this. I have to win it by getting in the ring. What are we doing? You know, he's playing this, and he did a good job. Hopefully, Priest was selling it, and maybe he really was messed up, but he did a hell of a job. AEW doesn't do that. I pride myself on the reason why I say WWE, or the reason why I say AEW is similar to WCW in many different ways. One of the main ways is because they don't do house shows. Not often. That's where you build that's where you build the repetition. That's where you build the chemistry with each other, is during these house shows. That's when they start to formulate the stories, is through house shows. With the house shows, you get to see, okay, this is, let's start building this chemistry. Let's start seeing how one can deal with the moves, and we can toy around with all this stuff. That's how they build up their shit. It's through these house shows. Going to Jade and Kevin Castle from the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show has said this, and I agree with him, is Jade has done this move countless times. The problem that Jade has is the minute a mishap happens, Jade gets into her head. And Jade starts to, it's like now she's on edge. And being on edge after mishap can do more damage, because now something can really happen now, because now you're tense. You're not loose with it. And she needs to get inside of her head that, okay, it's over. Let's move on to the next thing. It happened. Let's move on to the next thing. I said it when she came out this past Saturday. I don't know what it was about this entrance, but when I seen it, I said, that's the star. That's her. Everything that everybody that has been talking to me about how Jade Cargill is the future, she's the star, they're big on her. I don't know what it was about that entrance on Saturday, but it made me sit there and go, I see it. Okay, I see it. I'm all for it. I like it. Character development. They're developing this character for Jade. Jade is becoming this monster megastar that everybody seen. And WWE is now putting those finishing touches to it and making her as big as she's going to be. I think about that. I think about Goldberg. I think about the more recent episode of What Killed WCW. And they were talking about Goldberg, and they were talking about how Goldberg had a match with Scott Hall, and there was a mishap, and Scott Hall looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" And Goldberg said, "Dude, I don't fucking know." And the biggest problem that I had with Goldberg was only made for 2 to 3 minute matches. If it went over 5, he was scrambling. If it hit 7 minutes, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Grant, build him up to be, but he has to be able that when it comes down to being in the ring with someone that you know you can't run through, how are you going to tell this story? Character development is going to lead into my Ricochet conversation. But that's the issue that I have with AEW and their mishaps. You have to understand AEW, this is just it. You know, WWE, yes, they have their mishaps. He also made a comment about WWE makes subliminal shots at AEW. Crickets. AEW says something about WWE. Why can't AEW stop talking about WWE? WWE, get over it. Here's the difference, in my opinion. I can ask the casual WWE fan. I can go ask my brother, who's not the... He used to be a diehard wrestling fan. He's not that much. He'll peek his head in once or twice. Now, everybody's talking about the CM Punk press conference with the donuts. And when you think about CM Punk at a press conference eating donuts, you think of the AEW scrum. The brawl. And you see CM Punk doing this one. One thing that people said is he looks a lot healthier. He looks happier. But people knew what he was doing when he had the donuts. People knew it. And when he had the donuts and he was talking and he was praising WWE's locker room and doing all this, it was shots taken at AEW. The difference between when AEW takes a shot and WWE takes a shot is, for example, if I showed my brother that, my brother would probably look at it and be like, okay, he just had donuts. I don't get it. Because he doesn't know about the scrum. He doesn't know about that because he's the casual fan. The casual fan is not going to know about that. The diehard fans, myself, the Ace, the ones, others, will know exactly what that was. When AEW does their shots, from my understanding, I do not know if this is 100% true, but the Chris Jericho gimmick that they have now is a shot at CM Punk. For him being this locker room leader, him being like all this, he's this, everybody loves me, I'm here. Like that whole gimmick that Jericho's doing now is a slight shot at CM Punk. You're taking arguably one of the best people in your company in wrestling history, and you have subjected him to being ruining whatever he's done. Is this going to ruin Jericho's Hall of Fame career? No, but everyone's going to look at it as this was the beginning of the downfall of Chris Jericho. Was this gimmick right here? And if this gimmick was created to take a shot at them, you're creating a whole character to take a shot at someone who has not been with your company for almost, it'll be a year in September that he's been gone. When WWE takes their shots, they don't take it on platforms or on shows. They may make, I won't even say they make reference. They don't even say AEW. Cody Rhodes took there was a spot on NXT where Cody Rhodes was present and Shawn Spears, Ethan Page, and Brian Pillman Jr. was in backstage with Cody. And Cody looked at them and said, I can tell you guys are in a good place. People say that was kind of a shot taken, that Cody took a shot at them, but you got to remember, Cody has been silent and been praising AEW if this was a shot. He's been praising AEW for a very long time. Toni Storm took it upon herself to say what she said about Cody. And this was the first time Cody, I would say, probably did take a jab at them. But I mean, I think they've taken multiple shots at Cody from time to time. But I just think that what needs to happen is, one, tribalism, get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Y'all can say that I probably push it, but I don't. I just want AEW. I want AEW to succeed. I've been on record saying that. The issues that I have with them is they are promoting themselves to be X, Y, and Z, and they're not. I have a problem with the owner, the founder, the man in charge, not knowing what he's doing. I don't want to hear it's a 5-year company. We need to give them time. No. Y'all talk a big game. Y'all should back it up. If y'all talk that big game, y'all been talking a big game. Y'all need to back it up. The shots are going to take place. You know, I get upset when AEW takes their shots because their shots is more why? You know, like my thing is like, why? Why do it? Because your attendance suck. Some of your stories, you put all this attention on one story and then leave the rest to like the wayside. It's just really not that, it's not really built up. I'm sorry. But I mean, honestly, just stop the back and forth. Stop the subliminals. Get rid of it. Because at the end of the day, I think WWE, their numbers are going to prove themselves. The work, the product is going to prove to win. And that's all that matters. So moving forward, what's next for the WWE and these stories moving forward? You know, next stop is Money in the Bank. Early predictions for Money in the Bank for women. Y'all should know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Tiffany Stratton needs to win this Money in the Bank. I can kind of tell what she's doing. Kind of trying to align herself with Nia Jax. Thinks that Nia Jax is going to win. She can tease, if she wins Money in the Bank, she could tease that she's going to go to Smack or go to Raw. But I think she's going to eventually cash in on Nia. Men's Money in the Bank, I'm not even sure. I'm not sure who I think. You know, a lot of people are going with Jey Uso. I'm not. Yeah. Men's Money in the Bank, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Obviously, we have Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa, in my opinion, for Money in the Bank. Randy Orton, there was a little hint of Randy Orton possibly teasing his intention for the WWE Undisputed title. I think that if we did do that, Randy needs to turn, and I think it needs to happen relatively soon. Because I don't want to see face Cody and face Randy. I don't want to see two baby faces do that. I just don't. I think whoever wins Money in the Bank from the men's may have to be on SmackDown. Because I know Gunther's winning the world title. He's beating Damian Priest at SummerSlam, and Gunther will have an arsenal of opponents on Raw. SmackDown, Cody doesn't really have that many people. I think AJ may be in Money in the Bank. I think Randy, obviously Randy's going to face him at SummerSlam. I could see that happening. Yeah. And going back to Solo and Cody, because I don't want to miss this opportunity. The Rock recently has said that, we're in the last minute or the last inch before we embark on the greatest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania match of all time. I believe he's hinting Roman and him, which then will mean that we may get an appearance from The Rock relatively soon in regards to this whole story. And I think that's when we find out that Roman find out that The Rock is who Solo has been answering to. And I think that's where we start to see the seeds planted for WrestleMania next year with The Rock and Roman Reigns. I've already talked about Drew McIntyre and CM Punk to great lengths. So before I wrap up, I want to end this last maybe 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes about Ricochet. So, as you guys know, Ricochet it'll be not this past Saturday, but Saturday before, Ricochet was in the news because he apparently, according to PW Insider, informed the WWE that he has no plans on re-signing with the company. And this led to a mix of people. Some people were all of a sudden these Ricochet supporters that are like, he deserves better. I'm glad that he's gone. I'm glad he's leaving. He needs to go to AEW. He needs to go here. He needs to go there. Whatever the case may be. And it's led into, me and the Ace obviously having a conversation, and this led into the Instagram Live that we did. My thing is where was all this support for Ricochet? And this ain't at the Ace, because the Ace has been supporting Ricochet for well over a year. It'll be a year around SummerSlam last year, because when him and Logan Paul was feuding, that's when he started the Ricochet deserves to be a world champ. And that's when I kind of said that's when Ricochet's career kind of took a nosedive, because there's an inside joke that we have when it comes to when we either with me, if I stop rocking with the athlete or a team, they go down. Him, it's when he starts rocking with the player or team or athlete, they go down. So this is kind of this running inside joke that we have with one another. But where was all this love and support when Ricochet was on Raw or on Main Event? Where was it? Because I promise you, in 2 weeks, no one's going to be talking about Ricochet. Hell, I won't. They will talk about him tonight on Raw, because as you know, this will be up on Monday. They will talk about him on Raw with Braun Breaker. But Next week, probably nothing. The week after, probably nothing. It's not going to happen. Ricochet supposedly gave this notice. WWE wrote him off. Braun Breaker took him out. I think Ricochet fell off the minute he got called up to the WWE main roster with Aleister Black. I think that Ricochet should have stayed in the WWE or NXT for at least a year before getting called up. And I say that because then we would have seen Ricochet as a heel, possibly, and NXT champion. I think they would have did the test and see, okay, we're going to put the title on you, see how you can go. Character development happens in NXT, and then we move you on to the main roster. I think Vince putting him on the main roster was a bad move because you boxed him in. I don't think that he was, his character wasn't fully developed for him to get there. I think that Vince just wanted that high-flying, that coming attraction that will ooh and ah people, but we need more with Ricochet. His mic skills aren't the best. And I asked the Ace, tell me a Ricochet promo that was good other than this one right here.
Ali. Listen, I hate to break it to you, homeboy, but the only person around here who's living a lie is you. Because look at you, Ali. You're proud. You're so proud, man. This is the type of victory that you're going to show the entire world and brag about how you beat Ricochet. So congratulations, Ali. But I hate to tell you, just because you got the pin last week, you see, that doesn't prove anything. Except that when we're face-to-face in the ring, Ali, you can't beat me. So now, Ali, you want to run it back. You're out to prove to the entire world how you are better than Ricochet. And if I heard correctly, you said that you was willing to die to prove how you're better than Ricochet. Well, now forget all that. All Ricochet got to do to prove that he's the best in the world is simply just show up. Because that's what I do, Ali. That's exactly what I do. I have traveled this entire globe, Ali, and it has been the same everywhere that I have been. I have been the best in the world, Ali, and this, you can bet your ass that this is going to end the same way that it always ends, Ali. You being a fading memory in everybody's minds. Because at the end of the day, Ali, everybody remembers Ricochet. So you can bet your ass, Ali, we're going to run this back. I just hope you're ready, homeboy.
And mind you, that one was on Instagram. That's when he was feuding with Ali on Main Event. Character development. Ricochet needed that character development. Now, Bully Ray brought up something, and I asked the Ace the same thing. Is Ricochet a main eventer, or is he someone that you could put in the main event once or twice? Roman Reigns, main eventer. Cody Rhodes, main eventer. Seth Rollins, main eventer. Drew McIntyre, main eventer. CM Punk, main eventer. Jey Uso, you could put him in the main event, but he's not a main eventer. So then we started having this conversation. He asked me about a few other people. He asked me if Otis is a main eventer compared to Ricochet, and I said no. I believe I said. I didn't give him that answer. He asked me about somebody else. But I just told him, I was like, in my opinion, and I've said this on this platform, I said it on Instagram Live, Carmelo is what I think they wanted Ricochet, and to a degree Montez, to be. I said, I can see Dawkins, and this tells you something. I can see Dawkins as a person in the main event or hold the title before I see Ricochet, because Dawkins has that character. Dawkins has developed his character. Ricochet has not. We haven't seen Ricochet in this light. Everybody wants to see Ricochet in AEW. Okay, he goes to AEW, and then what? He'll have a match or two, and then he'll be in purgatory. He may be in the main event once or twice, but he's not a main eventer. I will go on. I've been a Ricochet fan, and I've always said, wow, I would, if I had the pencil, I'm saying the pencil, but if I had the pencil, how I would book Ricochet. I will book Ricochet as being the most arrogant, cocky, pretty boy you've ever seen, but when it comes to delivering in the ring, he is like Seth freaking Rollins. He is like Seth freaking Rollins. Can put on a show, can put on a match, can turn around and deliver. That's what you get. That's what you get with Ricochet. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Now, what will be interesting is if Ricochet actually resigns, because they did do something during that write-off with him, which they included Samantha. Bully was like, that was interesting, because that means that you may be telling more to this story. WWE made the announcement, Ricochet's going to be out for a couple weeks or whatever the case may be. They made the post about it. I think Ricochet might stay. I think this might be a rebrand. Send him out, let him do all this stuff, come back, feud with Braun, get the win over Braun, do whatever. But I think this might be a restart. I think Ricochet does re-sign with the WWE. I just do. I do. With that being said, I mean, that's all I really have. There is some other things that's going on in the world of wrestling. WWE is going to show people how to really do a Forbidden Door. I know today, Sunday, AJ Styles did make some video that he will be, I believe it's Noah. He's going to be participating in that, taking on somebody from that wrestling company. I know Io Sky is doing something with another wrestling company. So WWE, and we all know what their relation with TNA was. So WWE is really, WWE is really showing, and I think they're going to further show the proper way to do this. I would love, absolutely love, for there to ever come a point in time where the two biggest companies in the world, WWE and AEW, big brother, little brother, or big brother, step brother, work together. But I don't see that happening because Tony Khan and Triple H don't get along. They just don't. And I think the real personal shots really have done something, and it probably won't make the situation any better. But let me know what y'all thought about Clash at the Castle. What do y'all think? Who do y'all have y'all money on for Money in the Bank? What do y'all think is going to happen with the CM Punk Drew McIntyre story? Just let me know in the comments what y'all thought about everything that was discussed today. Till next time, I am the franchise. Make sure you follow RCW_podcast, the Ace as well, RCW_Ace. So next week, I'm out. Later.